Hey, this is Marcus Washington with Morning with Mook, and I'm going to take a look at a couple of firings in the NFL with Antonio Pierce and Jerod Mayo. And of course, you go on social media, a bastion of idiocy, and you see a whole bunch of this is what happens when it's a DEI hire. And I'm thinking to myself, what is the gravitational pull of your stupidity in your universe? Those weren't DEI hires. What the hell are you talking about? Every time there's a black person in a leadership role, it's not a DEI hire. And if you think that, you're a moron. If you look at, we'll start in Vegas. Those look at every hire under Mark Davis and look how long they've lasted. It's been 2 years, with the exception of Gruden. Gruden's was 3 before he had, those emails. But it's been 2 years. Those other guys were white. There wasn't anything about DEI. This is what happens when you have DEI hires. Last I checked, Dennis Allen wasn't a DEI hire. Josh McDaniel was not a DEI hire. That has nothing to do with Antonio Pierce being black. Go out to Jerod Mayo in New England. Apparently, this had been in the works for 5 years. For 5 years. What would make you think that if this has been in the works for 5 years, that when Belichick left, that Robert Kraft sat there and said, you know what I need? I need a DEI hire to follow the greatest coach in NFL history. I seriously doubt that's how that conversation went. By the way, if you look at the majority, if not all, of the hires out of the New England machinery, they've all failed. Black, white, or indifferent. It didn't have anything to do with color. They all failed. There hasn't been one that's been able to replicate what they do there. Now, if you want to put Mike Vrabel in that situation, Mike Vrabel might be the exception. He might end up being, if you want to classify him in that, he might be the one that's the exception. But it is well over 90% of the people, of the coaches who got head coaching jobs out of that Belichick stable have all failed. And until it was Jerod Mayo, they were all white. Who cares? It was hires that didn't work. Frankly, I would be, with the exception of Vrabel, I would be a little hesitant to hire any coach or GM out of that state. And I know Vrabel has been an exception, and some will say, name escapes me now, but the young man who's defensive coordinator in Minnesota, that could be it too. And one of those two could end up in Vegas simply because of their relationship with Tom Brady, and Brady now being a minority owner. So you never know. But this idea about DEI hiring anytime someone black has a leadership role and you haven't even looked at their resume, you have no clue why and how they were hired, and that's all you scream. Again, that is because you live in your own universe where the gravitational pull is a strong with stupidity, and it's ignorant, and it is where we are, where we have taken knowledge, we have taken research, we have taken data, we have taken subtleties, we have taken nuances and turned it into something negative. Because as soon as you start talking that way, no one wants to hear it. Everyone wants to be the expert at everything. And in sports and politics, those are the two at the top of the list. Everyone wants to be an expert at everything. And they have shunned these other things that, at least when I was in college, that was very important, which is educating yourself. So for all the people who think it was DEI hire, which doesn't explain what happened in Chicago, doesn't explain what happened with a lot of these coaching openings, so be it. Drown in your own ignorance. This is Marcus Washington from MTC Media.